United States for the highest auto insurance premium. Now, as Jeremiah described, one of the reasons is because we are notorious for our terrible driving. But can anyone guess what the big reason is why it's so high in Florida?
I think some people are playing the system. Attorneys are hiring people to throw themselves in front of cars and then playing the system.
Some kamikazes,
right.
Exactly, but insurance fraud is the biggest driver of premiums in Florida. And can anyone guess what Tampa is, well, I just gave you the answer. Tampa is currently the capital of the United States for insurance fraud. And so how does this affect us? Well, currently, Floridians are paying about an average of $84 per year on what we call a fraud tax. So you're paying an extra $84 of premium per year to cover the costs of the people that are actually playing the system. And it's quickly rising it's going to be about 100 within the next couple of years. So as everyone knows, when costs go up for insurance claims, it all trickles down to the cost for the consumer. So everyone is going to be paying more and more the more that we let this go on in Florida. And so how does insurance fraud work? Well, there's a couple of ways that you can do this. The biggest thing, especially in Florida, is staged accidents. And people are getting incredibly creative on the way that they stage these accidents. It used to be two people would take an excursion out into the middle of nowhere and decide to ram their cars into each other. And then all of a sudden, when they report the claim to the insurance companies, they pile about 4 to 5 passengers in their vehicle, and all of a sudden everyone is disabled and claiming enormous injuries. And what do we know the difference? We didn't see the accident happen. Of course, there's no witnesses. We're lucky if a police report was even written or if they were even called. Another way that you could do this is with excessive medical treatment, and this is also a very popular way to inflate the cost of your claim. You're in an accident and you think, you're feeling pretty good, and all of a sudden you get a call from an attorney saying, oh, I heard that you were in an accident. Are you represented by an attorney? How are you feeling? The conversation goes on, and suddenly you're going to the physical therapist every day for the next 3 months to get massage therapy. And also, you never realized, but you had a $2,000 television that happened to be in your back seat that was completely demolished by the accident. In addition to that, you had a $1,500 panini maker that was in the back seat that was demolished by the accident as well, right? Of course, everyone carries those around. This is actually one of my claims that I have right now, believe it or not. It just keeps building. They keep sending in more bills for things that happen to be in their car during the accident. I don't know how they think they're going to get away with this, but I will catch you. So the way that this works is, it's not just attorneys or the victims that are involved in these schemes, but the medical companies are huge. People send in bills for massage therapy. It's usually a soft tissue injury, like your neck hurts or my back is sore and I have to go and get massages. It's never things like my arm is broken, because that's really easy to see if your arm is actually broken. But who's to say that your neck hurts or your back hurts? So a lot of medical providers are in on the schemes too. They'll send in bills for all of this treatment that they've been having, but when we actually ask the person that's injured about the office, describe the office to me. Where is it located? What does the lobby look like? They've never even seen the office. So it's pretty amazing the tricks that they come up with. But they're all in the business together to try and max out the policy limits of your policy. So now that I've told you about all the danger, what do you do to protect yourself? Well, one of the most important things is don't be stingy on your insurance coverage. I'm not going to go into all the different coverages that you should carry, but you have to think that paying a little bit extra every year in premium, especially in the state of Florida, is really going to protect you and save you thousands of dollars in the long run. You need to protect yourself. If you don't have high enough policy limits, they can actually pursue your personal assets. So say I only have property damage, that's damage to the actual auto, and a person claims that they're injured because of something that I have done, they can actually go after your personal assets, anything that you own, to get reimbursement for all of their medical charges. Another way to protect yourself is if you are in an accident. People don't think of it, but get witness information. Anyone that happened to be passing by that says, oh, are you okay? Is everyone okay in the accident? Get a business card. Get a business card, get their name, get their phone number, their address, anything that you can get from that person that can say exactly what happened in that accident and who was involved in the accident. Another thing is take photos of the damage, because a lot of times something that may be a little scratch, when we send the appraiser out there, all of a sudden the entire rear end of their vehicle is destroyed. And call the police. A lot of people will try to persuade you otherwise, saying, no, we don't need to get the police involved, they're just going to give out tickets, but the police are going to write up a report. They're going to say who was involved in the accident, who owns the vehicle, and any insurance information that that person carries. Another thing, just to add to this story, is I was reading the newspaper this morning, and the St. Pete Times actually had an article about insurance fraud this morning when I was reading the paper. And a lot of times people think that it's people that don't have a lot of money that are doing, formulating these huge schemes, but a doctor actually, he makes millions of dollars, but he was in the newspaper and he's currently in jail for, putting together one of these huge schemes. So I'm not giving you this information to scare you, but for you to go home, I just want you to go home and take a look at your insurance policy. Make sure that you're properly protecting yourself and your assets, and also just to make sure that you all are my friends now, and to make sure that you're not going to become part of one of these terrible schemes and for someone to take advantage just for an easy payday. So please go home and drive safely home. Thank you very much for listening.